Welcome to Good Morning Anambra show. Good morning, Ify. How are you today?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Won't you stop me? Good morning, good morning. I hope you had a beautiful night's rest. It's all over you.
We thank God. It's beautiful. All right, thank God for another beautiful day on Good Morning Anambra show. Thank you so much for always waking up with us on Good Morning Anambra show. My name is Nonyango Okoya.
And my name is Ify Onachipo. Thanks for joining us this morning. Stay tuned because we have all it takes to get you glued to your TV set.
All right, we begin with the press review.
We'll be right back. Yes, welcome back to Good Morning Anambra. We're starting up with press review where we get to take a look at what the papers say today. So, Nonye?
All right, we begin with taking a look at some stories making their headlines on ABS website. All right, today, 23rd January 2025, INEC restates readiness for Anambra State governorship election. Mrs. Soludo assures justice for woman burnt to death by husband in Aba, Ghana. ANSFA under 17 scouting program kicks off in Anambra. Ekweremado's wife, freed from UK prison, returned to Nigeria. Ex-Ohaneze Ndigbo VP Okeke Ogene urges communities to collaborate with operatives of Agune Chamber Security. Anambra Ohaneze Ndigbo backs Soludo on Operation Udogachi. Scouting under 17 national team coach Garba assures of upholding merit in selection of players. FG congratulates Trump on inauguration as 47th president of U.S. U.S. President Trump places day office staffers on paid leave. Migrants stranded at Mexico border following cancellation of appointments.
Very, very juicy stories all over there. Very juicy story. But, the only sad one there is the story of the woman whose husband burnt her to death.
I've not stopped thinking about that situation. In fact, I had to write, people should start checking their mental health. Somebody was like, if not eating, you're going to check for mental health. Another person commented, I should let them know where to go to. I said, look for mental health doctor. In this part of the world, we don't really take it seriously. I've never seen anyone say, I'm going to hospital for my mental health check. They think you're mad once they talk about mental health.
Seriously, I think it's... In fact, I thought about it yesterday as well. It's like, because all over the places, some experts were suggesting that, advocating for that, saying that people should check their mental health. But the problem is, do we really believe in that?
That's another...
We're still being built by, cultural practices.
Once you talk about mental health, people target as
You're
the
mad.
person is
mad. Onyala, but that's not it. There's a woman I used to see along... what's it called? Agwoka.
Okay.
Through Agwoka, as if you're going to through immigrations, that route, near a church, the CKC church. Each time I pass through that woman, I say, this woman is not mad. She's old.
Okay.
She's a very old woman, But then, I know that woman is not mad. I think she has a little mental issues. And each time I pass through there, I say, where are your relations? What can we do to help this woman? I believe that if you can get her, shave her hair, give her a beautiful bath, give her good food and all this, she could be normal again.
Honestly,
so I think we should.
It's high time Nigerians start thinking towards that angle. That there is need. There was this man that came down from UK sometime. I think the man came to look for... Yes. He's a doctor.
I was even thinking about him now. That we need to call him.
He's a mental health doctor in UK. He has come down to Anambra to talk about... And there's another guy also that has been on radio to talk to Andy Anambra concerning
yeah, he's also on TV. I was the one that brought him in, but he has an issue with the government. They said he's not an expert, so we're not even bringing him.
Okay, the truth of the matter is that this has become an issue,
but
especially now with the situation of things in the country. A lot of people are not thinking right or straight.
Our friend that you're talking about came down to Nigeria, established a mental home in Nnewi, that's his hometown, but people did not patronize him. People thought he was a madhouse. Even when he collaborated with the Anglican Communion there, people didn't believe in that. They thought the man has brought down home for mad people and all this. And do you know, going through that guy's story, when the Commissioner for Women Affairs was interviewing him, he said that he didn't know it would be like that. Can you imagine? He didn't know he was going to lead to her death.
That would tell you that something actually is wrong. There is something beyond what eyes can see that happened to the man or that pushed him. I'm not trying to stand in for anybody, but we should not just, he has done this. Let's look at how can a human being thinking right pour fuel on a fellow human being, not to talk about your own wife. There are things you give a thought to, a deeper thought, to really find out what happened, so that if there is anything that could be tackled to forestall a future occurrence, you know, to help other people that may be passing through the same situation, something like that. I think, you know, we should...
thank God the governor's wife has, you know, said...
a lot of
people are backing up. At least let the man be brought justice. And then the children are left. 6
children, 6 boys.
Okay. Now, let's take a look at the Kweremado's wife being freed from UK prison.
Yes, I also saw that yesterday.
I was just wondering, I said, has she served out her term?
It depends.
It wasn't detailed. Probably details will be trickling in from today.
Okay, but I think that's a good one. You know, to an extent, at least for somebody, you left your home, your husband was equally there, you know, and your family is just there, nobody to care for them or something like that. Even if you have so many maids around, the presence of the man and the woman of the home is equally important in every family. Okay.
Welcome back, Mrs. Kweremado. And when we go down, you see,
is it
scouting for... No, not Trump. Trump is another story altogether.
You know, the way he has just swung into action, look at migrants stranded at Mexico but are following cancellation of appointment. These are, you know, policies.
Are they illegal migrants?
Or
are they illegal migrants?
I wouldn't know. You know, the only thing is that Trump's policies are already working. That's just what I see there. And,
you know, there was a video I watched about this inauguration where a female bishop, I think we should laud that female bishop, was praying, you know, for those children. They said, we live together, those people who clean our farms, those people who clean our compounds, who do things that we couldn't do, you know, but we live together as neighbors, that God should have mercy on them. And Trump was just looking. Do you understand? I loved that woman's brevity. I've never seen, you know, bishops, I've never seen great men who talk about what leaders do, you know, in front of them. They always laud them. They always say, they will talk positive things about that woman, that lady was so bold. That bishop, female bishop, talked about even the, you know, the transgender, that God should please help them, protect them. Because of Trump's law. Trump was just looking at her like that, as if saying, "This woman, not the whole that." So
but I don't think Trump is going to jail them or kill them. The only thing is that he said there is no space here. It's just male and female. That's what I know. And
so what will happen to them?
You remember that the former Prime Minister of UK said something like that. That this is madness. How can you tell someone that there is nothing like male and female? You know, so there are things that are natural, and you want to twist natural things. It looks.
Oh, I'm saying that you should consider you don't just imprison them or throw them.
No, I don't think he's going to do
normally,
that.
Yes, normally, probably like in Nigeria now, we know that we have an anti-gay law, and policies. But the thing is that people are practicing gay. People are
in secret.
practicing
In
lesbian
secret,
in
until
secret.
the day they will now bring it to the open or
And
sign
even,
it into
even
law.
when you bring them to the open, people, you will see people that will condemn you, not minding the law. So this is a very, you have to tread with caution on this.
Okay.
So that they, you know, if you want to actually adopt male and female sexes, you can do it gradually. And do you understand?
All right, we go to the first paper for review, the Daily Times.
Okay, Daily Times, I need to commend them. Do you know, as early as 1 a.m., they've already brought out their headlines. And they are the first papers to bring out their their headlines every day. And it gladdens my heart. Okay, now we have tax reforms. Afenifere asked National Assembly to consider people's interest. This tax reform, I think they should download it for us, so not just taking it from different angles. Like people who went to see the elephant, some say it's like a pipe, some say it's like a fan when they touch the ears and all these. So let them explain to us what we are going into so that we don't go astray. Okay, when we go at the masthead, we'll see a story there about WEF 2025. Nigeria global leaders target $29 trillion African economy by 2025. Can you imagine? Nigeria, global leaders, target. So with all these, all these debts that we have, I'm telling you, piling up for us. Okay, going down, we have Ogun PDP challenges Abiodun over insecurity in the state. And then we have PDP crisis worsening as deputy national officers back Damagu. PDP, no, this is not, I mean, it's not funny anymore.
Put your house in order.
Troops dismantle Bello Turji's camps and eliminate 10 commanders. Wow. Okay, federal government invests 60 billion naira on fiber optic cable coverage. Biko, let it know. Is it backing up the proposed tariff increase? Okay, UK pledges support to tackle plastic insecurity, pollution. This is a big one.
You know, there's this headline you read that really touched me or made me to, I don't know if I'm angry or if I'm angry at our leaders. Or why should we be trading blames on insecurity? Why don't we just move into action and do what we ought to do for the sake of the masses? You know, the governors are the chief security officers of their state, and they have all it takes to say do this and it's done, to say do that and it's done. You know, why trade blames over insecurity? Why not just come out and do what you have to do for the sake of your people?
You remember what happened in Anambra State, you know, during this altercation that we had about security, and people were busy online, you know, taking sides. Pointing at each other's faces. But the governor was very serious, and before you know it, within a few days, he has made sure that the security law has been signed into.
Proactiveness is just what
it's just
we need.
worth it. If he had been there, you know, exchanging words with them and all these, I don't think we would have had this this calmness that we have for now.
Honestly,
even though we urge them to continue, don't just stop. You know, then you feel like they've arrived. No, we've not arrived. Continue working. Even at, you know, at the point of people telling you that what you're doing isn't correct or that it's not proactive enough, keep working. Don't worry, Heneman.
All right, we move on now to the Punch. Let's see stories making the headlines in front of the Punch newspaper. Kano, Niger Republic Rail Project. Communities tackle federal government over compensation for 3,252 owners.
I think it's Niger, Kano, Niger. Okay, Niger Republic. Okay, the one that Buhari
project continues despite Nigeria-Niger tension. 5,531 persons dissatisfied with compensation. Enugu community celebrates Ekweremado's wife return from UK jail. Mass deportation, US targets churches, mosques, schools, hospitals. Again, Anyanwu Udeokoye clash over PDP secretary's seat. Group ask IG to probe controversial video on Mohbad's death. Alafin Owade puts traditional rights on hold, returned to Canada. Oil exploration must uphold Tinubu's meeting. Monarchs begin consultation. APCLP back INEC on by-elections. Dismiss Falona's proposal. Troops close in on bandit leader Toje kill commanders, 24 militants. Tariff hike. NLC asks subscribers to prepare for telecoms boycott. Where do we go to?
When we boycott, what do we do? Then there will be total blackout.
That's
do you have any alternative?
That's what I'm asking now. Everybody should just back down, or what?
But the thing is that I think I like what Labour is doing. Last week we talked about their threat, or not even threat. They were actually asking the federal government to allow them talk over it. And I think it was Ijoma that said that Labour is not serious. I told him no. What's actually reigning now, what is actually subsisting now is that when it comes to parties and disagreements, what you do is you try to engage. And the superior argument wins. So I like what Labour is doing. Labour doesn't actually, Labour is not militant. They are just assertive. They are just there telling them that I have this right to speak. I have the right to a negotiation. You don't just come and make a law and then start practicing it.
Okay.
So anything that has to do with the public, the real thing and the ideal thing to do is let there be dialogue, negotiations, so that you arrive at a comfortable point where everybody
will agree.
Yeah, will agree and then also benefit.
All right. I think, I don't know if INEC is becoming serious with the by-elections. Anambra is this year. It's a serious year for the Anambra, to go to the polls and elect who becomes the next governor. And of course, we've been giving, Anambra said they've given us all the parties in the state, they've given us time to go and do our primaries and pick who stands in for us. So I think with what we are seeing, I hope and pray that INEC should be, do it in a way that everybody will be, not maybe this is working, this is not working, or the election they will start hearing all those stories. As they have started, I pray that God will help them to do a very good election in Anambra State.
I just pray so too. But I think INEC should start off on time. If you start off on time, then you'll be able to attend to differences and complaints.
Okay.
And then start also on time to sensitize the citizenry about their responsibilities of making sure that your PVC is intact. Working. The other time we read about the fact that what is it called? The fact that they have already started deleting names of dead persons from their registers. So what we're saying is make sure that those people are really dead. Because some people don't even register deaths. They don't register deaths at the National Population Commission. So how did you know that these people were dead? Before somebody goes to vote and already his name has been removed as a dead person.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Okay. I'm interested in the mass deportation.
Okay.
Where they mentioned U.S. targets churches, mosques, schools, hospital. Are they targeting the students there? Are they targeting the teachers working there? Are they targeting churches, pastors, and their members? I don't understand. Whatever I'm saying is that they need to do it judiciously. Make sure that nobody falls victim, because already people are shaking like leaves in fear that they could be deported to their homelands.
All right. Next is the Daily Sun newspaper.
Okay. Daily Sun, thank God they came out on time today, because for many months we've not seen them.
Days.
Yes, I was surprised when I saw them. I said, I just told them, you've restored my hope. That was the message I sent to them. Okay, so we have on Daily Sun, we have PDP, fresh twist in power play. The Magu's men, their opponents, mock aggrieved members. Okay, we'll go up and see telecom tariff hike must translate to improved services. FCCPC insists. Labour rejects increase. I think we're going to bring in this Consumer Protection Agency
to talk
about it. Let's know,
they've already accepted the increase, whether you like it or not, whether you earn.
That's why they said that there should be improved services. Which improved services?
That means they've accepted the increase.
Yes. Okay, down we have Naira crash. Domestic borrowing balloon Nigeria's debt to 1.42.3 trillion naira. in Q3 2024. What about Q4? You've not actually harnessed it. Please do so that we know where we are now. Okay, $30,000 EFCC on trail of officer who allegedly looted exhibit room in Kaduna. Can you imagine? Exhibit room. Looted by an officer. What else is going on a police force, I beg. NUC upgrades pharmacy, physiotherapy, optometry degrees to doctor status. Can you imagine? That's good. So pharmacists are now doctors. I think it's long overdue, don't you think so?
Some private schools already started it, Doctor of Pharmacy. I know there's one private school in Ado-Ekiti that is currently running that.
But if without NUC's, approval, you can't actually use it. That's the thing. But now that they have approved it, that means it's now legal for you to say, I'm doctor. Because there was a book I read growing up in my secondary school. I can't remember the name, but I remember what happened there. That, I think the writer was actually trying to tell us that there's nothing in titles. There's nothing in titles because educated people there in the story started answering pharmacist, doctor, engineer. Do you understand? And they started adopting it. Like an engineer will tell you, call me an engineer. Ordinarily, it's Mr. Communicator, accountant, and they are doing it now. I think that woman, only former, but I can't remember the story. That woman is...
But Nigerians love titles so much. There are people that if you don't add titles to their names, they won't answer you. Or you won't get what you want to get from them.
But in more advanced climb, doctors answer Mr. They now tell you a medical doctor.
Okay.
Do you understand? PhD. Professors are misters. They will tell you he's a professor in what? That's this. But here, professor, if you just call somebody a professor, call him Mr., then that day he will deal with you.
That's what I said.
And you will tell him,
the person will deny you whatever you want to get from him because he didn't add title. Okay, talk about the traditional titles.
Hey, there was a time I said, that it will be sinner with this Gen Z generation. When you see mothers saying, "Yeah, Ulobi of a town, Ulobi a bag, and Ulobi a." And I was just saying, what's this? So that do you know what the heart is? The heart means that that's the center of
so
the person's existence.
Once he's not there,
the person is gone.
Don't breathe again.
That's it. So, when I started hearing that, I marveled. I got marveled. You say Anyanwu. Do you know Anyanwu? When there's no Anyanwu in the world, everybody will just smile. You'll be groping, everybody will be blind. And somebody is answering that. But do you know that now the Gen Z has started adopting those names? In fact, their own is, okay, the other day I heard about somebody that actually, I'm not castigating, our traditional institutions, but you see,
the way we hold
dear to it. Somebody said, if you are this title holder in a community, then a man or you've arrived. No, go on. A man in Kubego. That means others don't even have voice in their community. So I think we should revisit this because so that the titles will not dominate what we read in school.
Okay, I don't know if you've seen this. Tanker explosion kills driver, injures one in Ibadan, and I'm like, again, we've not even come out from the one in Niger that has killed 98 or thereabout. If it's 98, because that's what the paper reported, and this one is coming again from Ibadan.
But the thing is, I think the one, because it killed one person and the driver, that means we didn't have people coming to scoop. Maybe they learned lessons from what happened in Niger, where we had 98 people who were there scooping fuel, spilled fuel.
There's something I saw on social media done by channels, and I applauded them.
Yes, I saw it.
They used animation or something to create that and to create
keep
awareness
running
of
and
people.
running.
Keep running. Don't just stay and
don't just walk.
Don't
walk away. Run away.
Run away. That's a very good one. I had to share that actually. But people should know that these things are not just. You don't just, because you're hungry, want to go and scoop and make money. You've seen what the damages that happened in Niger State. But a lot of people died.
I think there should be regulations. Coming to work in the morning, through Enugu Expressway down, you see a lot of tankers lined up. An ordinary driver or commuter
the problem,
is at a risk.
The problem with Nigeria is continuity.
That
law has been there.
It's been there.
I knew that there was a time
that was in
that once you're caught up on the road 7 a.m. you don't move again. You park by the side until 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. That is when you start.
Yes, that was why I said regulations, so that people will know that you shouldn't be on the road by 8, because you see them. In fact, when you meet them on the way in the morning, you will just be praying, God, please help me. Please cover me with the blood of Jesus. That's what you'll be saying until you pass them through, because they all line up and then drive recklessly. So what you do is you become a very, very, very careful driver so that you will scale through in minutes. So
all right, Daily Independent newspaper now. NLC to FG has top 50% telecom tariff hike implementation. Which riders then asked Nigerians to prepare for action to compel hike reversal. CNG kicks demands resignation of NCC boss minister. Other stories from Daily Independent: resigned, stop the marketing. PDP national officers tell members. Oil market faces strong selling pressure as crude drops below $80. Collective investment schemes increased to over 3 trillion naira in 2024. SEC. FRC insists Nigeria not yet hyperinflation economy. FCT doctors begin strike over unpaid salary. Amoteku warns bandits, says the Southwest not safe haven. Organ harvesting, UK authorities free Ekwuremado's wife from prison. I rejected contract variation of 532 billion naira from 90 billion naira. That's coming from Keyamo. And INEC fixes FCT area council's election for February 21, 2026.
Let's clap for Keyamo.
All right, the next paper.
Okay.
The Guardian.
Okay, next paper is Guardian. And on Guardian, we have this screaming headline: costly by-elections worry INEC as IPAC demands credible polls. And that's on page 6, yeah. And then we have doctors protest on paid salaries, ground Abuja hospitals. Economic crisis spikes malnourishment among 5.4 million kids. That's from UNICEF. There's a warning from them. And then we have 50% tariff hike insufficient. Say telcos amidst pushback by subscribers. Because whenever, I wish I had an alternative. When I finish this one, I will switch over. Okay, Lagos warns against sharing child pornography, threatens 14-year jail term. It shouldn't be just Lagos anyway. UCH students protest 82 days of blackout. Can you imagine? Harsh environment. And Tinubu spent 300 billion naira on Abuja satellite towns in 12 months. Baker, I hope it wasn't borrowed. Court sentences Abuja Bishop to 20 years for rape. Can you imagine?
I saw that. The point is that I don't know whether these people still read the scriptures, because there's something the scripture says and said, let it not be mentioned amongst you as becoming saints. It was spelled out there. Morally, fornication, adultery, all the evil. The Bible says, let it not be once mentioned amongst you as becoming saints. But now it has become, it's like
now a practice. Everybody, even people are playing with this. You remember that gospel singer, that so-called gospel singer that killed the so-called girlfriend, yesterday, I saw an online, conversation where people said it has never been established that guy was a pastor or even a gospel singer. And somebody said, it was the bloggers that were using it. All other people are saying, man does this and all this, but bloggers will always say gospel singer.
Yes.
So somebody now said, if you're a professional, you should have known that when a dog bites a man, it's not news.
But
But when a man bites a dog, it's news. So
news.
when a man kills, cuts somebody to pieces, it's just an ordinary thing for some people. But once a gospel singer, it's just like this bishop.
Yeah.
The bishop is meant to take care of the flock. And then the bishop raped someone and was in prison for 20 years. I mean, it's news, big news, because a bishop is not meant to, like you said, even for once, be related to any sin. Because he's meant to be a saint. He's meant to be a shepherd of a flock. Just like Jesus. Jesus was on earth. No evil was associated with him.
With him.
That's how we should be. Especially if you are a pastor. Even a pastor's daughter, a pastor's son is supposed to be exemplary. Do you understand what I mean?
There are things that are not supposed to be associated with a Christian in the first place. Because when you call that name, there is something about it. It's just like a broadcaster, for instance. People watch you on the screen. There are things you should not do because you're a public figure or something like that. So all these things, everything has its own place, and to just mess up yourself because of what I don't know. And that pastor must be a married, the bishop must have wife.
Of course. But the thing is, do you know what? One thing? This is becoming a regular in Christendom. Well, we've had in the past that men of God engage in such things. And some of them go scot-free. So I think this is exemplary. That the man was tried and the person, the survivor was giving justice. Let it be like that. Once something happens, like this man that killed the wife, some people are being sentimental. If the man is jailed, what will happen to the 6 children? And they are all boys. And already they've started living off the street. Because based on the conversation that they had with the Commissioner for Women Affairs, some of them go to pick aluminium. And a little child, when a child goes out to hawk, to pick debris from refuse bins, receptacles and all these, the person is exposed to a lot of danger. Because he has seen more than he should have as a child. So once these things happen, sometimes we get sentimental and say, hey, but the man must be punished. He has to go to jail because he killed someone. He killed his wife and rendered the children, motherless.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. That story is so pathetic. And let's just keep our fingers crossed and see what happens. God will take care of the children.
Okay.
There are some others. Okay, let's run for want of time. Daily Trust newspaper is next in our lineup. Let's see. Daily Trust dialogue holds today. FCT doctors embarks on strike over 7 months unpaid salaries. NSCIA to FG implement policies that will alleviate poverty. 1.4 trillion naira unsold goods recorded in 2024. Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. Nigeria heading towards hyperinflation. Experts speaking. Military kills Tuji's second in command. Other top commanders. 15 die in Kwara auto crash. Damago can't be removed until December. NLC protests telecoms tariff hike threatens mass action. I don't know. You're going to take the next paper before we talk.
Let's just quickly go to Tribune and I will just pick few that we have not seen before, like talking about Sharia panel holds inaugural sitting in Ekiti. When people are protesting, then court denies EFCC's arrest warrant request for Tukedo, Onasanyo, others. So UN $910 million for humanitarian crisis in Northeast. French investors eye Ogun Agro Cargo Airport, others, because we can't ever afford. Okay, we have CBN approves release of FX code to take off January 28th, foreign exchange code. Okay, let's go to the next 2 papers so that we'll finish up. Okay, the next is blueprint.
The blueprint. Okay, in front of the blueprint, you have these stories coming up. Deportations, Trump okays raid on churches, schools, hospitals. We have right there, Panama files a complaint with UN over Trump's threat to seize canal. WEF 2025, Nigeria global leaders target $29 trillion African economy by 2025. We've seen that before. 72 hours after eliminating Sun. Troops closing on Toji, neutralize second in command Kanawa. Okay, we can see the picture of Kweremado's wife up there. Let's quickly go to the last paper.
That's the last paper, anyway.
That's the
but
last.
Before we go, I want to talk about, the doctors being
yes, that was what was on my mind.
What really happened?
They are complaining that our health workers are leaving the country. And you're still owing health workers.
For 7 months. What happened? First month, second month, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh, and you're owing someone. Was there a disagreement? This shouldn't be, because we are going to have them living in droves. And once we have our medical personnel leaving the hospitals in droves, what is our fate?
All right, I think those authorities concerned should look into it, because I think 2 days before now we saw a story where there is a complaint that medical doctors should stop leaving. They should stop leaving. Do something to keep them here.
What?
Do something to keep them back.
Have they been living off on? What have they been living on ever for 7 months now? That means they've been doing a private practice.
The Lord will help us.
Because you wouldn't tell me that they've not been feeding their families, taking care of their needs. Something must have been, energizing them to hold on for 7 months. Nico, Wike, please try and do something about this.
Is it Wike?
It's not a good story. That's FCT now.
Okay.
He's the guy in charge.
All right. I don't know. CBN unveils code to boost transparency ethics. Okay, we've seen that before. I think that's the much we can take on the press review, to make way for other things coming up on Good Morning Anambra Show.
Thanks a lot. If you want to read this in details, you go and pick any of the papers, any of the 8 papers we treated, and then you read the details and get informed.
All right,
thanks for joining us.
Sit back. More coming up on Good Morning Anambra Show.
Okay.